perfectionism is the cover of vulnerability. The protection comes up, and my protection is like, be perfect, don't make mistake, control it, don't risk it, stay steady. And it sounds like a voice of wisdom which by love, but there's a trap. Ego is never satisfied. It's a hungry ghost. Kids, they know their truth. They're authentic in the moment. She is my teacher right now. Our kids, they tell us the truth. Sometimes not in the form that we are ready or want to. I realized I was the origin of her not being heard, seen, held, validated. This connection with your now adult daughter is
Mhm.
priceless. Like, I really have trust that she knows for herself better than anyone.
I'm very excited because for Her Unmasked, it's like a new era because you're our first international guest. So
Oh,
it's
very
it's a
honored.
big
Thank you
thing
for having
happening.
me.
Yeah, I just want to very briefly introduce you.
Thank
This
you.
is Helena Prosvirnova. She's trauma-informed life coach. We studied actually together in the Conscious Parenting Institute of Dr. Shefali. This is
Yeah.
where I met her a few years ago. She was a speaker at the Global Conscious Parenting Summit last year. She talked about sensitive children and ADHD, and her work integrates nervous system regulation, body based healing, and conscious parenting. Today, I would like to talk with you about one topic that we speak a lot and we have in common. It's perfectionism. I think it's a trait that so many women around the world struggle with.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
But first, I want to see this not so much from your perspective as a therapist and a coach, but more so as a human being, your experience with perfectionism. And maybe before we start, we need to explain a little bit what is for you perfectionism. And I was thinking also before we blame everything on perfectionism, maybe to see what are the good traits that perfectionism brings to us, because there are some good traits for sure.
For sure. Absolutely. I actually came to you, and I was thinking, I don't want to make it about me, like a confession or a therapy session. I also don't want to make it and sound as a coach, which will not be fair because when I coach other women, I could see clear and I have so much more compassion, and you understand better when it's not you. But
Mhm.
when it's so, it's a blind spot. Paula. So basically, I didn't know that was my thing. I thought I was shy. I thought I was careful. I thought I was I, perfectionism never was the word for me until I realized that it was, and until I realized it was one of the biggest patterns, conditionings, my ego or adaptive child, different terms for the same thing, adaptation. So, perfectionism for me is how I experienced it. It's a lot of vigilance, hypervigilance, a lot of control, a lot
Mhm.
of preparation, a lot of not good enough as of yet. Need to do more, perfect it, do better. And of course, it stripped every experience from joy, honestly, from spontaneity, from freedom to just experience the result of whatever I was getting ready for. And there were two outcomes from anything that I did. One was satisfaction, but it was a cold hearted satisfaction of all the checked boxes. Or the other one, it was now I know of shame. because I failed.
Mhm.
So to me, perfectionism, I mean, the negative part, it's constrictive. It's suffocating. To me, it's a cage of always trying to prove something. And I know, of course, I've researched that perfectionism in its pure form is the desire to get a good result, to use your abilities to be satisfied with something that you're passionate about, as long as it's not for others to judge, as long as it's not your identity, as long as you're not doing it to impress or to prove that you are worthy. So if you're doing it because, like, oh, I want to add to what I've already created, or it gives me joy and resourcefulness, that's one thing. And that comes from abundance. But if it comes from like not good enough, I need to try. Every not is always a constriction. So not
So the,
ready.
so the first step is for from what I heard is for sure awareness. First of all, to recognize that we are having some of these traits
That's
and
the
not
first thing.
to put them under the carpet and hide them from
Exactly,
the.
exactly. If you're not, I wasn't aware. I was not aware. As I told you, I thought, okay, I'm getting anxious. Like I don't like to be in the public eye or um anything. It was agitation, like a slight discomfort or a big discomfort. And in order for me to to overcome that, I needed and I need to be super ready.
Mhm.
Today, I came unprepared. I didn't do anything. I just came because I knew it will be good for me. And I do hope that it will be useful for other women or men just to see. Like, I really, awareness is a key. But
Yeah,
then,
and you touched
yes, to name things. I'm
you.
scared because they will judge me. I'm scared because if I don't get ready or prepared, then I'm not enough. So that's something, that's vulnerability. And perfectionism cancels vulnerability. Perfectionism is the cover of vulnerability, which is stale and stagnant and just not, not vital. Not vital.
Perfectionism, in a way, comes to hide our big feelings, the feelings that we sometimes cannot feel and experience. But
True.
you touched on something very, very interesting, and I think it's good to explain it. What is the difference between excellence, when we want to excel, when we want
Hmm.
to have very, very good life, and then perfectionism? And I believe excellence is connected more to flexibility, to be able to have different results, even if you try your best,
Exactly.
and to
Yes, you are
be.
not fixed on the outcome, exactly how you plan it. Because perfectionism is nothing but excelling, nothing but superb, nothing but perfect. But in reality, they said perfectionism does not exist in this life. It's, you could see it as perfect, flawed and then natural, and it's like, oh, it's perfect for me or good enough for me. There's a lot of room to work there, right? And then you just out of curiosity or desire, a freedom to okay, let me shape that up a little bit better, or let me find out about this thing that I feel I'm still wobbly about.
Mhm.
But if you're rigid and if there's only one condition, and yeah, you expectations, Allah, expectations and having your own grid and for me, excellence is a hard word to even hear. Like it brings up a lot of sadness
Yeah.
when you say yes, because to me, it's like an obligation, like a condition. And I want to do my best to just accept everything as it comes. And then if I find the resources and the desire just for myself, but not myself in the ego, not myself in my, always
And
scratching
I,
out the
I
not good
think
enough.
I think when you excel from a place of love, then no matter the result, you feel good enough.
Absolutely. If
And
I'm in my heart,
in
this
perfectionism, you're never good enough.
when I'm in my heart, that means everything goes. Then I'm courageous. Then I understand how things work. And I believe in synchronicities, in flawed perfection. Flawed perfection.
Yeah.
This is exactly what I crave for. But when I'm out of my heart, when I feel insecure or not good enough, the protection comes up, and my protection is like, be perfect. Don't make mistake. Control it. Don't risk it. Stay steady. And it sounds like a voice of wisdom, which is not. Then everything is just, as I told you, it's a very mechanical screening
Mhm.
from whatever cyclopedia is in my head, which it deems to be perfect or not, excellent or not. It's mechanical, there's no life to it, and I'm a slave of it. So yeah, when we are in our heart and there's love, I think perfectionist melts and it's just creativity. And
Where I'm curious, very curious, where in the body do you feel perfectionism, and especially where do you feel I'm not good enough? I think how
when
people.
I'm in my ego protective mechanism, everything is in the head. My
Mm,
body is detached, I think.
mm,
So if things do not go my way according to the plan and expectations, then I would have tension in my limbs. I would have sinking feeling of disappointment and probably like unconscious narrative of like, oh, here we go again. Like I told you, you should have done that until you're ready or whatever it is, and what they're gonna think. All the fears are lining up. Now we know you and me, like all the common fears of humanity, what other people are gonna think, that it's never gonna happen, or lost of your image, losing your whatever you were holding dear to. So yes, when I think when we are in our protective selves, we are not embodied and we're not connected. So we are not. It's to me, it's like a robot screening for pros and cons and according to the narrative, according of how things need to be or how I need to be. So and it's a hard one. It's a hard pattern conditioning and wiring to overcome. And
and
I know that I'm not, I told you before that once I see these traits, I do respect, I know these people work hard. I know how demanding they are to themselves and, of course, to the world. And but I really know that I won't really find compassion there. So I try to stay from people that have similar patterns that I do. So most of my inner circle, people that are courageous enough to make mistakes and they're not suffering from this wiring.
yeah, but I think it's very important to explain to people that it's something that it doesn't fade away like very
No,
quickly,
no, it
if at
doesn't.
all. So it takes
Hmm.
a lot of time, and it's a big journey, and we.
Of course, because it has so many benefits. I mean, we adapt because it protects us. Lots
From
of praise, lots of recognition, lots of. If I tell you that I never realized why I was getting so anxious when I would get a compliment for something that I did perfectly. I
Mhm.
never realized, like, okay, here's a standard that now I need to live by. What if I flop next time? I didn't realize that that was happening to me. But and I'm like, yeah, this time, yes, but next time, let's see how fundamentally I'm gonna F it up.
Yeah, and I'm thinking it's also very good to know that it could come from trauma, but not necessarily.
Yeah,
Sometimes
absolutely.
it's a personal trait, sometimes
Yes.
it's a sensitivity. So
Mm-hmm.
it's not always connected to. big trauma
No,
experience.
we all traumatized in different,
Yeah.
degrees. But of course, it's how, let's say, your parents wanted to see you, and you wanted them to love you. So you wanted to satisfy their expectations, them to be proud of you, and you kind of read the room. So I believe this is what I need to dig deeper, like what really happened. But I think I really wanted to be that girl, but that my especially my father wanted to see my dad. I mean, I was the golden child, and he absolutely believed that I was part of his greatness. And then I realized, like, oh, okay, if I can't be that because I never felt that, always the perfectionism in it dysfunctional way, it's always a cover up of not enoughness, of unworthiness, because there is so much expected of you. And I guess I hid the unworthiness, and I covered it, gilded it with
Mhm.
perfectionism. And like, okay, so I need to be easy. Okay, I'll be easy. I need to be compliant and polite and witty at the same time, pretty and educated, and read the room and be good with nuances. And oh, okay, we don't like loud, we're not going to be loud, we're going to be subtle. Not assertive, okay, not assertive, but we're going to claim my, a reward in some other way. And then of course there's this trap when you believe, as a little girl, because ego is little, you believe that if you follow all those conditions, you're going to be rewarded by love. But there's a trap. Ego is never satisfied. It's a hungry ghost of not enoughness, because you're always validated against other people. As I said, perfectionism is beautiful if it helps you to create, to channel your vision. That's
Mhm.
amazing. So I know, when I know that there's nobody judging, like it will not, whatever I do, either I have many hobbies: interior design, or creating some pieces of jewelry, or dressing up.
Mhm.
If I know that nobody's gonna see it, then I feel safe, and it's unrestricted. Unrestricted. It's a play, and I know I'm enjoying it. But once I know, let's say I'm throwing a party
Mhm.
and people are coming, then it's not me anymore. There's no game. This is like a solid programming of, like, I'm the boss, I'm controlling everyone around me, not the guests. Then, like, I need, so it's a lot of tension, and I see that I tend to avoid it because there's no freedom in it to be in your heart and everything. And then you're exhausted. Oh, yeah, I'm not going to do it again. It's always like that. With my jewelry that I used to create, I love the creation process very much. And I
Mhm.
always wanted to do the impossible. And I always wanted to go in such a detail. So it will be
So that's the beauty of
perfect.
the
Yes, yes. So I
perfectionism.
wanted, and I knew I had the vision, and the inner struggle was okay until I see, like, how many pieces were just thrown away because they were not good. But it was like the creative process, like not.
Mhm.
But once I knew the business part is coming right up, then people will judge, and they were like parts of me, these jewelry pieces. Then I was like suffering immensely. And even when people complimented and wanted them, I was always skeptical about, is it true, or just because they like me or they feel obliged, something like silly stories of things. And that was exhausting. So that was not enjoyable, and I made myself small, and I avoided it. Same thing now. Like, I think I love to be in the public eye. I think I want to speak up more than I allow myself to. But then I'm like, ooh, I'm going to be judged. Ooh, I'm going to be vulnerable. And I'm not ready. And I'm not intelligent enough. And I'm da 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 da. So that's.
That's many of us. But yeah, actually, you said something very interesting about the father, and I want to go a little bit into being a parent.
Hmm.
And I was reading there are like three types of perfectionism,
Tell me.
and one is self-oriented. So it
Hmm.
says, I must be perfect.
Yeah.
And then other oriented, it's when you must be perfect. The other
Mm-hmm.
person, my child, most of the
Yes.
time, it's my child needs to be perfect, or my
Mm-hmm.
husband sometimes. And so I was wondering how it shifted from you to your child. And the third part, just to mention it, it's socially prescribed perfectionism. Other people expect me to be perfect. This
Okay.
is a little bit with the jewelry part, and they will reject or devaluate me when I fail. So
Mm-hmm.
those are the three types, and I think
I'm like all of the above.
I exactly. I think we are shifting from one to the other all the
Exactly,
time.
all of the above, guilty as charged, that's for sure. And
Yeah.
as far as parenting is concerned, once again, I never realized that before I started coaching and going into the conscious parenting journey, that we actually get so enmeshed even before the baby is born. We have already kind of plans and expectations, and they
Mm.
become the versions of ourselves that like wishful that we never became, or something. So in my case, I already many people, many women talk about it. I already had an image of,
Mm.
of my child, and that is such an immature thing to do. That's like, don't do that. They I mean, I don't know if we ever adults, but so once my daughter was born, I kind of felt like she's an extension of me. Oh my God, hopefully she's not watching, but she knows. So like an extension of me. And all the wishes for her were coming from my desire to have the perfection going on. And all the expectations that I demanded unconsciously from me went into her. And when she was her own being, completely unscripted, completely doing her own thing as she should have, I was terrified because I thought this is the only way to be accepted and the only way into happiness, into into bliss. If, as I told you, like this is this is so infantile. Like, okay, I met all the conditions. Now I'm the will be the recipients of all the gifts and that the universe and other people will give me. And it's a golden cage. So yes, I expected my girl to be exactly how I thought she needed to be. And I thought that's safe, that's safe. So um if I did it for myself silently, if I put myself into the you know, I accepted the conditions, the prescriptions,
Mm.
silently, unaware. Then, when she wouldn't have them, not being, no, like that's not my costume. That's not my prescription. That's what she was telling me from her free self. I was like, no, that something's wrong. Like the formula is not working. We need to fix it. And I tried my best. And of course, that's an awful thing that could happen to a child, because kids, they know their truth. They're authentic in the moment, right? But they don't have the vocabulary or the understanding to kind of own that truth. They live it, but the narration comes from the parents. Like when the big feeling comes to a child, the conscious parent would say like, oh, that's a big feeling you're feeling, right? And okay, I see that it's overwhelming. But that's okay. I have sometimes something like that. So you kind of give them the language to something that they experience, and that starts to make sense to them, and they are kind of growing into the whole self. But when the kid is not having what you're forcing on him and having something of her own, and you're telling her like that's not supposed to be happening. No, 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 no. In this case, this is what we do. I did it, now you do it, like your turn. Generational trauma. And
And
of course, that's so damaging. That is so disorienting. And loss of self is right there. This is the trauma, as we speak. So, oh, yeah. I traumatized my daughter.
And I'm thinking our I'm not good enough
Hmm.
when we try to to protect the child,
Yes,
not to be
exactly.
also
Not
not
good.
good enough.
Exactly.
It
Right.
comes from a very good feelings, but this is how it breaks the child. And I'm thinking sometimes the child becomes more of a good girl and
Yes.
starts to do
To
whatever
fit
we
the
ask them
shoes of
to fit, yeah. And sometimes it goes the other way. It
the
becomes
rebellion.
very rebellious. And I think
True.
your daughter
Yes, she
was
rebelled,
she was.
but at what cost? I know she's in her own journey of rediscovering her true self and doing it beautifully. And she is my teacher right now. I'll tell you, she's the mirror of everything. I was not able to be the mirror of her worthiness, but now many times she's reflecting back, like, Mom, it's okay. You're doing it. You are, in the
So
process of it. So
yeah,
she, yes.
when you became more aware, what happened? What did you change? This is very
You mean
important.
with
With
I
her.
became aware of what I was doing to her, firstly, because the signs were there. She rebelled, as you said. She really, you know, you could not notice. With myself, and that's the harder part, everything feels so familiar and safe, the pattern of perfection, that it feels home, feels normal. This is what I live in every day. But with her, of course, I saw like, oh, something is wrong. Something is very, very, very wrong. And our kids, they tell us the truth. Sometimes not in the form that we are ready or want to, but I
Definitely
knew she
not the
was right.
form we expect.
No, definitely not. And I could see that she's hurting. And
Mhm.
I realized I was the origin of her not being heard, seen, held, validated. So intellectually, I started understanding that. And once you understand that, I mean, when I was unconscious, I was doing things that I thought, like you said,
Mhm.
were according to the parenting, paradigm. But when I could see what was happening with her, I understand, okay, I am the origin of it. And then I stopped. I really stopped. I didn't know what to do different, but I stopped doing the old things. I'm
Mhm.
still doing less of it. I'm commenting, I'm interfering, but then now she she stops me and she says, I didn't ask for advice. I asked you to just hold me, to be held. And I'm like, oh yeah, right. Okay. So I'm out of my pattern again. So it took me a long time and a lot of education and a lot of trial and error to start doing something new and for her to start giving me credit and little by little feeling safe in my presence, that it's not a machine giving instructions, orders, comments, and stuff, but this is a human being flawed to the core and terrified and scared, not feeling worthy, not feeling good enough, and trying to compensate it with your child, which is safe to do. So it took, a long time, but it did happen.
Yes,
And now,
I see them
yeah,
very, sometimes very connected, very like really woman to woman understanding each other.
it's true. It's very true. And it is this connection with your now adult daughter is
Mhm.
priceless. There's so much joy in it because there's this equality already. What's the word? Like when I'm in a mother mode, it's more like a bear mother mode, like a protective, terrified, and
Mhm.
that's one thing. But and you can't stop that. Like, where are you? Are you dressed warmly? Like, don't do this. This is not safe. But um, other than that, I feel her as a young, courageous, daring woman, which daring something that I never even thought was able to, and she inspires me now. And of course, that I give her way, that I don't overimpose now. I
You
think
know,
that gives her a lot of like I have trust that she knows. That's it. Like I really have trust that she knows for herself better than anyone.
I feel
And
like she sometimes allows herself the feelings that you probably would never allow yourself,
yeah.
but you trust them now.
Yes, absolutely. And whatever's coming up, I know we are very different. We are wired differently. We grew up in different families, in different times. And some emotions are completely foreign to me. I never, the spectrum and the depth. She's just a different, highly sensitive young woman. But I see them as so real and so
Mhm.
her, and that gives space. Like I am so steady in being with these, unless it's something that I get offended and then we have a conversation or
Yeah, that's
argue.
the normal
That's
part.
another thing. Yeah, you did that. But I am calm, even though I can't understand how it feels, but I'm so calm. And this calmness, I think this is what many kids, especially highly sensitive kids, miss. When they are overwhelmed, when they are in the big feelings, it's very chaotic and scary inside. And they need steady waters of
Mm,
the parents. And if the parent is like, okay, that's big, I'm here with you.
mm.
Maybe I don't understand, maybe I do, but we are navigating it together, or I'm just sitting with you if you need me. And it's the energy that is calm. It's a
And
safe container. When, and you can't trick them with words because when the big feeling comes, it's big. It's nature itself. So you can't just fake it. You either accept it and good with it, and she checks. She's always like, "Oh, okay, so fine, you're steady, mama." And then everything kind of balances itself. But now she's learning to do it for herself, like reparenting, and that's why she dares to do more what's authentically hers.
and I think it's so amazing and priceless when you don't mesh with the child and differentiate. And like you said, I'm a different person, she's a
Yeah.
different human being, so we are wired differently, so we'll be behaving differently.
Yes, I mean, enmeshment is the big, and codependency, because I am with her. Uh, Before it was negative codependency, like always scared, always not
Mhm.
understanding, correcting, not connecting. Now, lots of connecting, but positive
Mm.
codependency. And that also comes from my family. Like I was very codependent, but like in a very positive way. We were like a little tribe that everybody was supporting each other and everything in our flawed ways and patterns. So yes, I am. And we laugh about it because she calls me many times and I sometimes tell her things, then she's like, I don't know. She tells me she's better with this. She's like, nope, that's on you, mom. You figure it out. Oh, but I have joy just listening to her go on and on and on, and I I enjoy it, and I think it gives her space to just be heard and to come to her own conclusions. Of
I,
course, I
re- I
yapped through the
really,
conversation.
I really love this new stage where she's not anymore the child, but there is one woman to another woman
Yes,
talking.
true.
I think we need to close our conversation and continue with
Oops,
this
sorry.
new topic.
Yeah. Hmm.
But I have one last question just to sum it up a little bit.
Sure.
What are the three small things? I know it's super difficult question, but let's try. What are the three small things that we can give women to start practicing probably today, not to be so much into the perfectionism? What works best for you? I don't
For me, it's a self-compassion. I
know.
mean, we,
I love it.
yes,
Yes.
I think it's big and it's not easy, but once you start doing it a little by little, maybe not self-love in the beginning, as they say, maybe just curiosity, like why am I doing it? Oh, I'm terrified. I think I'm not lovable, or I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, whatever it is, or they will not accept me, or they will, not be willing to whatever approve of me. So yes, curiosity and compassion, and then humor.
Right.
Perfectionism is very serious because you're trying so hard. And
Yeah.
humor, the bubbling, laughing it off, and understand that everything's so fleeting. Life is so, running and so running fast, and there's no certainty, and precious moments are just there. So,
And
compassion,
I think
curiosity, and
your
humor.
daughter, she's coming with a little bit of humor when you
Oh
do
yeah, for
your things.
sure. For
Yeah.
sure. She has a great sense of humor, and she yes, she is learning now to
Mm,
laugh at herself. She's quite intelligent human being, and she laughed at herself, but it was more of a sarcastic laugh,
mm,
condescending. But now she's laughing with herself.
mm.
It's a different
Yeah,
thing. It's a different energy. So
absolutely. Yeah.
yes, so a lot of subtleties, and that brings a lot of joy into my heart, because you could, be very humorous about it. It's so cool to make fun of yourself, but if it's cruel and deprecating, it's one thing. But if it's like, oh, just goofy and not perfect, and look at me being this and that, and then like, okay, I could see compassion there. I do. So
Yeah.
yeah, yes,
I love
yes.
absolutely humor for all healing because it
Hmm.
really puts us in this position not to be so serious,
Yes, yes,
not to take
absolutely.
us so serious, because at the
Yes.
end of the day, we're just a human being.
Right, right. And everybody's trying so hard. And all we want, the humanity, we all want to be loved and accepted and valued and heard and seen. All of us. So we all are there in the same pool. So why be so strict about ourselves? Message to self.
Thank you so much. It was
Thank
a
you.
beautiful conversation. Have a
Thank you,
beautiful
Ella.
day to
Thank you. You
everyone.
too.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you.